Good morning and welcome to Fox 29's News Now on this Monday morning. We're going to get started with some developing news over this weekend. A mother allegedly abandoned her baby in the city's Kensington section. Police are questioning her to figure out if she'll be charged. Fox 29's Lauren Johnson filed this report.
The update came to us yesterday that police had gotten in touch with that woman after putting out some alerts on social media to find her. They need to hear her side of the story to decide how to move forward with this investigation. At the center of all of this, an 18-month-old baby girl seen with some bruises on her forehead, scratches on her nose, and an injured arm. A picture taken by police and sent out all over after learning that baby had possibly been abandoned. According to police, around 7:30 on Saturday morning, 35-year-old Desiree Frederick was along the 3100 block of E Street when she asked a stranger to briefly watch her baby. After waiting for about 20 minutes, the mom didn't return. The stranger got worried and called police.
I can't believe a child, the mother left their child hanging right there and they carried for 9 months. Good thing young man like me stopped, called for help, and she got help. Shot, embarrassed. I had my own kids. I never want to experience that. I feel bad for the mother and her family. Can't believe it. It's 2019, more and more things happen to younger kids and adults now. Our generation is crazy growing up now.
Police said the child has since been reunited with family members after a brief trip to the hospital for observation, and at last check, the baby's mother was cooperating and speaking with SVU investigators. Right now, undetermined if any charges will be filed in this case, but police say they are grateful for the public's help in getting the mom and that baby reconnected.
And developing out of Newcastle County, a woman was sexually assaulted by a man posing as a rideshare driver. It happened near the University of Delaware. Fox 29's Steve Keeley has more from Newark.
If the South Carolina University student from South Jersey's killing March 29th wasn't enough to put all young women at all colleges walking anywhere near a campus on heightened alert for imposter Uber and Lyft drivers, this now second attack should for sure near the University of Delaware.
Definitely upsetting, especially being a girl. You just don't feel safe going anywhere public nowadays, which kind of sucks. But like I know Uber, they're trying to make a change with you can personally select if you want a female or male driver to help you feel more safe. But whenever we go out, we go out and come home in groups. So that when I get an Uber, I track to see that they're going to where I want them to go. Rather than just take me somewhere I don't know.
But excellent quick police work by the Newark, Delaware detectives found this silver four-door GMC pickup truck that the victim so accurately remembered details of to describe, like the toolbox in the back bed, when she said while she was walking alone just a block off the University of Delaware campus Friday night into Saturday morning at 1:15 a.m., a guy driving the truck she described as Hispanic and 40 years old said he was a rideshare driver, and he offered to give her a ride even though she had not called for one. Once she got in, he pulled a knife on her and sexually assaulted her.
I guess you can't walk by yourself, can't get in the car by yourself. You have to be, if you're going to get in a car by yourself, you have to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on. Definitely, always check the license plate. I always do that, and I always, ask the driver who they are, and if they're there before I get in the car. A lot of times people get in the car and they're already in the car, and then they're like, oh, you for, so-and-so. So, I don't know, just more awareness, I guess.
Newark police got tips after they got surveillance pictures of the truck out to the press and public. Then they found the truck, parked at a Newark, Delaware home on Nottingham Road. And the registered owner, when they looked at his driver's license, Roberto Rodriguez, 41 years old, matched the victim's description. Police waited for him to leave his home, and when he did, they stopped him. And he had a knife on him, charged with rape, possession of a deadly weapon while committing a felony, unlawful sexual contact, and theft for the victim's cell phone. He took that to prevent her from calling police, and that added even another charge. Bail set at $63,000. Two 21-year-old college women, close to graduation. One killed, one survived. Hopefully all women at all colleges will learn valuable lessons for the rest of their lives from these two cases. In Newark, Delaware, Steve Keeley, Fox 29 News.
And it's going to be a wild ride on Wall Street this morning, all the result of a surprise tweet from President Trump. The White House is promising to ratchet up sanctions on China. As Fox News correspondent Doug Luzader reports this morning, it may be a negotiating tactic, but it has already roiled markets around the world.
It's going to be a little bit of a wild ride on Wall Street this morning. All the result of a surprise tweet from President Trump.
The White House is promising to ratchet up sanctions on China. And this may be a negotiating tactic, but Doug, it's already roiled markets around the world.
Boy, look at Dow futures this morning, off almost 500 points ahead of the opening. So we'll see what happens once the markets actually open today. But this was largely the result, it seems, of this presidential tweet, and it comes just as a trade team, a negotiating team, is heading here from China.
Look over any investor's shoulder in China this morning, and the impact is very real. A lot of down arrows around here, and that is already spreading to Wall Street. All after yesterday's tweet from the president about tariffs on China. The 10% will go up to 25% on Friday. $325 billion of additional goods sent to us by China remain untaxed, but will be shortly at a rate of 25%.
The president is, I think, issuing a warning here.
Just an hour after the tweet, White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow was explaining what it meant, saying it's a warning that if upcoming talks with China don't produce results, there will be consequences.
And China has got to end its unfair, non-reciprocal trading system. They're breaking the laws. We hope they'll come around with this deal.
As recently as Friday, President Trump had said talks with China were going well. But major issues remain, including allegations of intellectual property theft. Still, that tweet is tough for some business leaders to digest.
There are very real and specific negative outcomes that will impact U.S. industry, and we're very concerned about this new announcement and the potential to derail the negotiations.
Now, we talk about a tweet starting this whole thing. There's another tweet that just came out from the president. The United States has been losing for many years $600 to $800 billion a year on trade. With China, we lose $500 billion. Sorry, we're not going to be doing that anymore. So we'll see this week the impact this has on those trade talks with China, assuming they take place now. Mike and Alex.
Right. Assuming it takes place. Maybe they'll just turn around and go home. All right, Doug, we'll see you again tomorrow.
And more in business news. Not only will Uber drivers be striking this week, but it looks like Lyft drivers are joining the fight. One that calls for better job security, fares, and livable incomes. It's happening Wednesday, so you might want to start planning your travel arrangements now. Fox Business's Hillary Vaughn has more.
Uber, and maybe Lyft too, going on strike on Wednesday.
And they're going on strike because they want better job security, they want better fares, and they want livable incomes. So it's happening this coming Wednesday, Hillary. So you're going to give us the details on this one?
For 2 hours, they're logging off their apps, which means if you rely on Uber or Lyft to get to work or where you need to go in some major cities across the U.S., you probably are going to have a hard time getting an Uber, figure out a different way to get there. This really is something they did when Lyft debuted their IPO. Uber is coming out with theirs this week. So they're jumping on that to essentially raise awareness that they want to get paid more. But Uber and Lyft say they do their best to compensate their employees. They have raised wages, but they also have to be competitive. Otherwise, there's no one's going to be hopping in an Uber or a Lyft. They're going to take a cab or figure out a different method of transportation if they're not competitive price-wise. And one interesting thing that I learned in researching for this story, in New York City, Uber drivers and Lyft drivers do have a minimum wage. They make over $17 an hour in New York City because New York City is one of those major cities that has a mandatory minimum wage for rideshare drivers. So apparently that is not enough. But we do know they're striking in New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles. Some are striking in Philadelphia as well.
Yeah.
So I know there's different time zones in all places that you listed, but so it's going to be in the morning? I didn't realize it was just 2 hours. Do we know what time?
Yeah, just 2 hours. I don't have the exact time, but we do know it's for a 2-hour gap in the morning. It would vary from place to place, but it's not for the entire day. So pretty much Wednesday morning, if you don't usually take an Uber or a Lyft to work in the morning, then you should be pretty much good to go.
Yeah, they have, to be more effective, they should just spring it on you. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
tell you the exact hour.
Right, and maybe longer than 2 hours.
Mhm.
So maybe they think that's enough to be effective.
Maybe so. And you know, they want to hurt themselves.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? But well, we'll see what happens Wednesday. Hillary, great to see you. We'll see you again tomorrow. Oh,
Thank you. See ya.
And now to your Fox 29 Weather Authority. The Philadelphia area is slated for a mix of sun and clouds Monday amid rising temperatures. Temperatures will reach a high of 72 degrees. A weak system could also bring in a stray shower Monday. Otherwise, the area is expected to dry out after a super soaker Sunday with cool temps. The forecast should stay relatively dry from Monday through Thursday this week, but precipitation is expected to return to the forecast Friday with some thunderstorms. And here's a look at current temperatures in our viewing area. We have 58 degrees in Mount Pocono, 63 degrees in Allentown, 58 in Trenton, 60 in Toms River, 61 degrees in Wildwood, 58 in Dover, 64 in Lancaster, and 62 degrees here in Philadelphia. And looking ahead to your 7-day forecast, again, clouds and sun today on this Monday, high of 72, 73 degrees. The warming trend will continue into Tuesday with a slight temperature increase to 80 degrees. And by Wednesday, Thursday, we'll see clouds and cooler temperatures come back to our area. Some potential showers on Thursday, more so into Friday with some thunderstorms expected. And hopefully by the weekend, the chance of showers will just move on right out of here. And don't forget to download the latest version of the Fox 29 Weather Authority app to have the latest forecast right at your fingertips. And back to local news this morning. Police are looking for a man who stole pharmaceutical drugs worth thousands of dollars from a CVS in Overbrook Park yesterday afternoon. It happened after 3 p.m. along the 7500 block of City Ave. Investigators say the armed man got away with oxycodone, fentanyl, and Percocet. Detectives have not yet released surveillance video of the suspect, but anyone with information is asked to contact police. And in North Philadelphia, police are investigating a murder after finding a man shot inside of a burning car early Sunday morning. When police arrived at West Cumberland and 5th Street, the car was still on fire. They later discovered the man had been shot in the back of the head.
So it appears the victim was driving eastbound on Cumberland, probably from Reese or 6th, came down Cumberland eastbound, and for unknown reasons at this point, he was shot, continued eastbound on Cumberland, and around between Lawrence and Leaf Cow on Cumberland, his car jumped the curve and crashed into a fence.
No one else was inside the car. So far, no arrests have been made. And in Wilmington, opening arguments are set to begin this morning in the third trial of the Vaughn prison riot case. Inmate Roman Shankaras is on trial, accused in the 2017 riots at the jail in Smyrna. Prison guard Stephen Floyd was killed in the 18-hour standoff. 3 other employees were taken hostage. In the first trial, 3 inmates were tried together, and the trial ended with mixed verdicts, including 1 inmate convicted of murder. In the second trial, 4 inmates were found not guilty. Shankaras faces a life sentence if convicted. And in Montgomery County, a former youth ice hockey coach from Lansdale is sentenced to prison in 2 states for sex abuse. 57-year-old Walter Fernanden ran skating clinics in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, New York, and Vermont until 2010. A Delaware judge sentenced him to 2 years behind bars after he pleaded guilty to sex abuse charges. On Friday, a judge in New Jersey sentenced him to 3 years in prison after he pleaded guilty to sexual contact charges. The New Jersey judge says the two sentences will not run simultaneously. And in Atlantic County, a once financially challenged Atlantic City casino says it will finally turn a profit this month after months in the red. The Ocean Casino Resort says it has reduced its debt so much that profits are kicking in this month. The resort at the former Revel opened last June and began losing money shortly after. A new marketing plan and more deals for customers have helped increase slot revenue and hotel occupancy. And on Good Day Philadelphia this morning, Daily News columnist Helen Ubinas recently shared the story of shooting victim Louis Berrios. His is a story of second chances and forgiveness. We want to warn you that some of the pictures shown here are difficult to look at. Fox 29's Mike and Alex have more.
You've got to hear this story. It's a story we hear way too often. A young man in our city shot on the streets of Philadelphia.
More than 400 people have been shot already this year, according to police.
Daily News columnist Helen Ubinas recently shared a story of a shooting victim by the name of Luis. His is a story of second chances and forgiveness. Now, some of the pictures of what happened to Luis can be disturbing here a little bit. Watch this.
6 months ago, 35-year-old Luis Berrios was returning to his North Philadelphia home from an Eagles game. Two men approached him. One of them pulled out a gun, shot him once in the back. Luis remembers lying on the ground, calling 911, telling them he didn't want to die. The single bullet went through his lung and his pancreas, part of his intestines, a kidney, and his bladder. Laying in the hospital bed with an uncertain future for sure, and not able to fully process what he was going through, he decided to write a letter. But instead of being filled with hate, the letter was about forgiveness. They are words he hopes his attackers will one day hear.
Luis is with us right now. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
What's the prognosis right now? Before how are you feeling?
So I'm actually feeling good. I just had surgery April 15th. I'm recovering from that.
Is the bullet out of you?
Yes, they took it out April 15th. So I had it in me for about 5 months.
Yeah.
But your recovery still isn't over. How long are you going to be out of work?
I'll be out for about 1.5 years.
Were you a trained welder, right?
Yes, certified welder.
Where'd you go to high school?
Alney.
Oh, yeah. Well, you wrote this letter. I think we should get right to, it's a fairly lengthy letter of forgiveness. Not a letter filled with hate against the people that shot you in the back. Read at least one paragraph, if you would.
I do want to say this. Despite everything I've been through and currently going through, and all the pain you've caused my family and me, I can honestly say I don't hate you. I'm not angry, nor do I wish bad on you.
Have you always been this way?
No.
No, not full of forgiveness?
I mean, forgiveness, yeah, you know, you learn as you grow up, but not this forgiving to like shoot me and leave me to die.
So what changed you?
When I was shot, before I passed out, I asked God to save me and not to let me die. And when I opened my eyes, I knew that I had to change because he answered my prayer.
Wow. And so when you wrote this letter, what was your intention when you wrote it?
At the time, I was angry, and I wanted to like figure out a way to like release that, but also to let my shooters know that I was still alive, you know, and I was just going to take a different path.
And when you say let them know, because you take this letter and you've been passing it out to the neighborhood, because you believe they're in your neighborhood.
Yes.
And how many do you think you've passed out so far?
A total of 500.
500. Do you believe that they've seen it?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because they're from my neighborhood. I've, in the process, seen one guy, and I intentionally went on his block.
Wait, you've seen him walking around?
Yes.
You know who shot you?
Somewhat, yes.
And what was their reaction when they saw you?
Shock. Almost like I know this man, but I just don't know where I know him from.
Because they probably think you're dead.
Yeah. A lot of people thought I was dead for a long time.
Now, are we going to pursue this with the police?
So it's up to the detectives right now. I did my part. I told them who I believe it is, and I wrote my letter, and I want to just move on with my life.
Right.
It's been hard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How hard has it been for you?
I spent 5 months, 4 of them months in my house. I had a leaking bowel. I couldn't eat, drink, just emotionally broken. I mean, I've lost 50 pounds, and
but you're here.
I'm here, and I'm blessed, and I believe this is what I need to do, and this is what needs to be done. I could have been a statistic, you know. I could have added to the homicides.
Well, a lot of people thought you were dead.
Yeah.
You know, your family did, and somehow you're sitting here for a reason, apparently.
Yes.
And it's not just with this letter, though. You didn't just want to reach out to the people who shot you. Didn't you also want this to be a message for other people in the neighborhood and other people around?
Yes, for the young people who are going to spend that last $250 on buying a gun, and they think it's, you know.
It's cool.
It's cool, and this would change your life. It would change, you know, the person in front and behind the gun. And you'll affect a lot of people.
You know, we just said that there's like 420 people have already been shot in what is it? We're just the first week of May. You know, I don't know. Maybe this type of attitude and letter will, you know, start the change.
I hope so. You know, that's my intention. It's the forgiveness part. It's the action before the reaction to something. You know, and that's how I feel. And if you can forgive, then you won't have that, you know, that mentality. Let me go get a gun, or let me go get a knife, or let me do this, or harm that person. You're able to move on.
Forgiveness, love is forgiveness. Forgiveness is love, and that's what
it's healing.
God teaches. Yeah. Do you mind if we post the whole letter on our website? Would that be okay?
Yes.
So people can read it.
Okay, because it's good.
What do you say to people who are amazed that they think, gosh, I can't imagine forgiving the people who shot me in the back?
And it was only 6 months ago, too.
Right, and to not be angry at all when it's changed your life so much.
Well, I've gotten that question, and I tell them, you haven't been in this situation. You haven't been where you're alone in the street and you're about to die, and nobody's around. And when I called on my Maker, I called on God, He answered my prayer. You know, and I don't want anybody to go through this. You know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. It's so nice to meet you.
And again, we'll post that letter, well, right now. And you can read it at fox29.com.
And keep us up, you know, updated on how everything's going with recovery.
Thank you so much.
All right.
And more on Good Day Philadelphia this morning. We delve into gourmet tater tots. The top master himself joined Good Day for another edition of You Gotta Try This. Oh, and sorry about that. Actually, coming up next is a pop-up shop all Philadelphians will surely love. A Hot Dog Life is exactly what this pop-up shop is all about. It's called Deli Shop, and it's a celebration of Dietz & Watson's 80th anniversary. Fox 29's Karen Hepp stopped by this morning.
A Hot Dog Life is exactly what this new pop-up shop is all about.
It's called Deli Shop, and it's in celebration of Dietz & Watson's 80th anniversary. So Karen Hepp is celebrating with them there now.
It's a lot of fun. Let me show you. We have to grind this one out. Of course, Dietz & Watson is a sponsor, but this is pretty fun. They're having a shop. It's very millennial. You can take all kinds of pictures, and there's all these things you never knew that you absolutely needed because they're so clever and the puns are so funny with the store. So as you said, it's called Deli Shop, but I also like that it looks like Delish Op. It's a family thing. Of course, a family-owned business for 80 years. So let's come on inside. Let me show you where we are. We're right here, 5th and South. You know exactly where we are. South Street, Slovakia, the whole area. So they even have hot dogs on the door handles. They really thought of so many funny, clever things. I'm going to hold the door, Mike. You go busting on in. Look at how funny this is. Let me show you some of my favorite shirts. They had the grand opening party this weekend, and they're giving away some gritty sauce, which is like a aioli mayonnaise. Like I said, sriracha mayonnaise right there, which is really fun. And then some of my favorite shirts are for the big ham in your life, Mike, and then you could have your little ham, your little baby onesie. It's one of the most popular sellers of these half sweatshirts, Alex. I don't know if you've been seeing these.
Salami
mommy. So cute. You love it, right?
That's great.
So I showed you your bathing suits in the meat locker, but let me show you. We can have your little millennial areas where you can come and get your funny pictures that are pretty cute. Oh, they're for sale. Yeah, I think it's like under $1,000. You can have this right there in your living room. It'll look great.
Yes, add to
and
the
let's
decor.
Oh my!
We're going to follow the hot dog trail on the floor. And as you follow the hot dog trail, and of course they have their, sauces and condiments, and their meats, but it's really more about some of the stuff and the objects. They have a whole little section here, more wonderful Instagram moments right here. And you also have the playroom area where you can do your cornhole and try on your bathing suits.
Oh, nice.
And this one, my favorite, your body by bacon.
That's
Who doesn't love that?
Oh my God.
That is good.
Karen, this looks more than a pop-up.
Yeah, how long will it be there?
Permanent.
Well, it's not. It's only for 3 months because they're doing it in celebration, so it's fun. It's a big flash. I think the design is really good and clever, but it'll be here at the end of July. That's it. So you have some time, but not forever. Oh, let me talk. They have amazing things happening. Let me talk with one of the owners. Lauren. Hi. Now, what are we going to do? We're having special events on certain nights. Let's start with maybe Wednesdays. What are you going to do on Wednesdays?
Well, it's actually Tuesdays.
Like I said, Tuesday.
Tuesdays are family nights, so come on down. We're going to have face painting. We're giving away hot dogs. All the merchandise is going to be discounted, so that's going to be a fun night. Thursday nights, we're doing hoagie and beer pairings. So you have to come check that out.
I love. Now, do you have? What breweries are you going to have that are going to do that?
We have Yards, Double Nickel, a couple other ones. So every week it's going to change. So it's going to be fun. And then we're having a whole Mother's Day event this weekend. On Saturday, you can come out and you can burn a board. You can customize a charcuterie board for your mom.
Oh, that's cute.
Very cute, yeah.
What made you guys do this?
Well, it's our 80th anniversary this year, and Philly is our hometown. We've been making meats and cheeses here since 1939. So we really wanted to do something for the people of the city, and we want to do something fun and come out and not just try our products, but also try something fun and not just eat our products, but wear them as well.
I love it. And I like your sort of retro shirt right there, your Dietz & Watson one. And of course, well, I'm going to leave it at that. It's fun. You should check it out. It's a good time, and it certainly will make you laugh. Oh, yeah, grilly.
Yes,
that's what I got to say. Grilly.
Grilly.
In Philly.
That is cool.
That
Now,
is
what
cool.
mom wouldn't want a chair with hot dogs all over it?
I think that should be the Mother's
Come
Day
on.
gift.
Yeah. Okay. Personalized jewelry under $100. See, now I think this is a good idea for your.
And we're going to take a quick break at News Now. Stay with us. And here we have a live look at Otisville, New York, where Michael Cohen, the former lawyer, media attack dog, and fixer for President Donald Trump, will report to prison this morning. As Cohen heads to prison to begin a 3-year sentence for crimes including campaign finance violations related to hush money payments made on Trump's behalf, Cohen said, "There remains much to be told." Cohen faces a 2 p.m. deadline to report to the federal correctional institution. Otisville, a federal prison in the countryside about 70 miles northwest of New York City. A minimum security prison camp there has become a haven for white-collar criminals. "There still remains much to be told, and I look forward to the day when I can share the truth," Cohen told a crush of media outside his New York City apartment before getting into a waiting Cadillac Escalade SUV shortly before 10 a.m. In a parting shot at Trump, he said he hoped when he is released, the country will be in a place without xenophobia, injustice, and lies at the helm. Cohen appeared to read from a prepared statement and didn't answer shouted questions. He stumbled on the way to the SUV as reporters and photographers jostled around scaffolding and scuffled with his driver. Cohen, who has been disbarred, is trading plaid blazers for khaki prison garb after trying and failing in recent weeks to get his sentence delayed or reduced. Cohen's legal team asked House Democrats last month to intercede after Cohen testified on Capitol Hill, but they were reticent to do so. Federal prosecutors in New York were also no help, Cohen's lawyer said. Cohen was originally scheduled to begin his sentence in March, but a judge granted a 2-month delay so he could recover from surgery and get his affairs in order. The 53-year-old Cohen is the only person charged with a crime in connection with the hush money payments to women who allegedly had affairs with the president. Federal prosecutors have said Trump directed Cohen to arrange the payments to buy the silence of porn actress Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal in the run-up to the 2016 election. Trump denies that he had trysts with either woman. Cohen also pleaded guilty to lying to Congress about a Trump Tower project in Moscow, as well as charges of tax evasion and bank fraud. Once Cohen gets to prison, he will undergo medical and mental health screenings and be assigned a job, such as mowing the grounds or cleaning up the visiting room. He'll also get sets of clothing, bedding, and towels. At the prison camp, about 115 inmates sleep in bunks lined up in barrack-style halls instead of individual or two-man cells as in higher security facilities. Recreational amenities include tennis courts, horseshoes, and bocce ball. Forbes once ranked Otisville as one of America's 10 cushiest prisons, but former employees and inmates say it's hardly club-fed. Inmates are still doing time, and they're still separated from family and friends. "There's no free time to work on your book or whatever," said former employee Don Druitt. "You get your downtime when you're supposed to be sleeping or when you can exercise, but that only happens at certain windows of the day. It's not where in the middle of the day you can just opt to not go to work and go work out. That's not the way it works," Druitt said. Cohen's fellow inmates include Jersey Shore star Mike "The Situation" Sorrentino, who wraps up an 8-month tax fraud sentence in September, and Fire Festival fraudster Billy McFarland, who is serving a 6-year sentence. But Cohen should avoid acting like he's still in the spotlight, said Jack Johnson, a former Otisville case manager who advises white-collar criminals on what to expect in prison. Some high-profile inmates have been known to hire other prisoners to do their laundry and heat up their meals, but that's looked at by staff as a sign of laziness and entitlement. So too are inmates who try to set themselves up with the cushiest accommodations by having a doctor write a note suggesting they sleep in the bottom bunk or wear soft shoes. If there is a legitimate medical need, it should come up at intake, Johnson said. "You assume the role of an inmate," said Johnson. "You're cordial to everybody. You're respectful to everybody. You do your time. You ask for nothing from staff, nothing from inmates. You accept nothing from inmates. You're nobody. Seriously," he said. If Cohen cannot adjust, Johnson said, his time is going to be miserable. Again, we're live outside the Otisville Correctional Facility where former Trump lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen is set to report to prison today. And that is going to wrap it up for us today at Fox 29's News Now. Be sure to catch us again tomorrow at the same time, 10 a.m. And be sure to follow Fox 29 at fox29.com on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thanks for watching.